Today's lesson is called, Is It Still Safe to Eat? Understanding Food Date Labels. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
And I'm Roger. Today we're talking about food and when it's safe to eat food and when it isn't. Now, normally when you go to a restaurant, you expect the food to be fresh, and so you can probably eat it without asking the chef if the food is fresh or not. But if we buy things in a supermarket that are packaged, then we need to check the label for the expiration date. And generally, if the expiration date has not arrived, it's okay to eat it. But if it's past, then you probably shouldn't eat it.
Yeah, if it's past the expiration date, you are taking a chance when you consume that food. For instance, let's say you've got a carton of milk in the refrigerator. It might say, this is the expiration date, or it might say best buy, and it'll give you a certain date. Now, does it mean the milk has gone bad the moment that expiration date has reached? No, but it's a good rule of thumb here, okay? If you don't want to drink bad milk, drink that milk before the expiration date. That being said, I have consumed milk that might have been a day or two over the expiration date, and nothing bad happened to me at all. In fact, unless the milk starts to smell bad or starts to curdle or stuff like that, chances are the milk is A-okay. But yes, these are still good guidelines to follow. Don't eat food that is over the expiration date. But yes, there are some questions related to this. Can you still eat food that is past its expiration date, let's say? Well, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be trying to answer this question, and we're going to try to understand food date labels. Anyways, folks, let's get started with our lesson. We'll start our lesson right after we take a short break.
Is it still safe to eat? Understanding food date labels. You open the refrigerator to look for a snack and see a tub of yogurt you'd forgotten about. Looking at the food date label, you discover it expired a week ago. Do you eat the yogurt anyway or throw it in the garbage?
大家好，第一部分我们看到单字 expire， 这个字是动词，指到期、期满。例如Walter was fined for staying in the country after his visa had expired. Walter 的签证过期后仍留在该国，因此被罚款。另外补充这个字的名词 expiration, E-X-P-I-R-A-T-I-O-N, expiration, 指期限终止、期满。我们可以说 We try to renew our subscriptions before the expiration. 我们试图在期满前更新我们的订阅。
All right, the first paragraph here gives us an example of what could happen if you're looking for something to eat and you want to check the label for the expiration date and you want to find out if the food is still safe to eat. So yes, the title here is it still safe to eat? Of course, we're referring to the food. So again, this is an example here. You open the refrigerator. Or you open the fridge to look for a snack and see a tub of yogurt you'd forgotten about it. Oh boy, lucky me. I'm really hungry. It's not dinner time yet. I'm looking for a snack. Oh, there's a tub of yogurt in there. Maybe I can have that to tide me over until dinner. So here we've got the word tub. That refers to a type of container. Usually it's kind of wide at the top and it will contain things like butter or ice cream, or in this case, yogurt.
Very simply, if you want to think about a tub, a really good example of a tub is a bathtub, okay? It is not that deep. In fact, it's going to be wider than it is deep or something like that. Here, we're talking about yogurt, by the way. Yogurt is what happens when you go ahead and you take a dairy product, let's say, and you mix it with a certain type of bacteria. Now, in that situation, you might not get cheese, a solid, or anything like that. What you do end up getting, though, is kind of this semi-solid, liquidy stuff that kind of tastes pretty good, and that's what yogurt is all about.
Yogurt, yoga in Chinese, and of course sometimes yogurt makes a very healthy snack, and maybe you forgot about this tub of yogurt. Well, of course you're smart, you're wise, and you check the label first. So looking at the food date label, you discover it expired a week ago. So again, you look at the label, which has the food date on it, when it was produced, and how good it is until what date it's okay to eat it. And it expired a week ago. So let's see, today is the 10th, well, actually today is the 30th. So if the label says, say, the 23rd, that means, oh, it's past its date of expiration. It expired. So this verb here, to expire, just means it is no longer valid.
There you go. So here's the question. Do you eat the yogurt anyway or throw it in the garbage? I say eat it. Well, first of all, kind of smell it. Okay, if you smell it and it's obviously off or it obviously smells bad, don't eat it. But otherwise, go for it. Why not? After all, yeah, yogurt's already something that has been made with bacteria, okay? How much worse can it get, okay? If it really stinks, that means something bad has gotten in there and now it's gone bad or started to rot or something like that. But hey, otherwise, go for it. Eat that yogurt. It might not be as good as cheese. I like cheese more than yogurt, but if it doesn't smell bad, it's probably not going to kill you. So I say eat the yogurt anyways. Anyways, folks, with that, let's go ahead and take a short break. But when we come back, we'll read some more about how to understand food date labels.
People often throw away expired food that's actually still safe to eat, believing the printed date to be linked to safety. What it actually refers to is the date until which a product will still keep its original quality. So, if a bag of potato chips has best before, best by, or use by printed before a date, it means the chips will have the best flavor if eaten before that date. You may also encounter sell-by dates on food labels. This is simply the last date that stores should display the product for sale. After that date, the product can still be enjoyed.
第二部分我们看到形容词 original 指原先的、最初的，像是 My original idea was to go to Kaohsiung, but we decided on Tainan instead. 我原先的想法是去高雄，但我们反而决定去台南。另外，在 original 的字尾加上 ly 可以成为它的副词 originally 指原本、起初。可以说 This museum was originally a school. 这间博物馆原本是一所学校。接着我们看到单字 encounter 这个字是动词，有遇到、偶然碰到的意思。举例来说Danny encountered many interesting people on his trip through Taiwan. Danny 在游历台湾的旅程中遇到很多有趣的人。另外，这个字除了当动词，还可以做名词，指偶遇、邂逅。我们可以说 Yesterday, I had a brief encounter with my neighbor, whom I usually never see. 昨天我和邻居短暂相遇，我通常和他都见不到面。
Okay, now in the second paragraph, we will attempt to answer that question. Do you eat the yogurt anyway or throw it in the garbage?
I say go for it. Okay, if it doesn't smell bad, doesn't look bad, go for it.
Sounds good. I usually do that with milk, as you said before. Sometimes I'll just smell it or take a little bit of taste of the milk if it's a day or two past its expiration date. Usually it's okay, but in this case here we're asking that question. Yes, what do you do? Well, people often throw away expired food that's actually still safe to eat. Now, notice the word expired here is in quotation marks. Supposedly, it is expired. The date says it's expired, but is it really, or is it still good? So, yes, indeed, people often throw this away because the label says that, and somebody put that label on there, obviously for a reason. So, gee, we better not eat that, or we might get diarrhea.
Yeah. By the way, if you do drink curdled milk or milk that's started to go bad, yeah, you can kind of get some gastric discomfort in your belly or something like that, maybe some diarrhea. So, yeah, if the milk is obviously still good, okay, go for it. But if you think it might be slightly off, if the smell is just a little bit off, don't take the risk. It's not worth it. Anyways, just because the expiration date has passed does not mean the food is bad necessarily, okay? Sometimes this food is still actually safe to eat. Go for it. Now, what do we have to look for? Let's read some more about that. Anyways, we've got this printed date. What does it mean? What it actually refers to is the date until which a product will still keep its original quality. So there you go. The food here isn't necessarily expiring, but maybe after that date, it's not as good as it once was. Yeah, when we're talking about the original quality of something, we're talking about how it was at first. So let's say you buy a loaf of bread. Okay, you take it home from the bakery. It's soft and delicious and wonderful and great. A couple days later, you can still eat that bread, but it might have gone a little bit stale. It might not be as moist as before. It might be a little bit dry. It doesn't taste bad, but it's not as good as it once was at the beginning when it was at its level of original quality.
That's right, the original quality, the quality that it had at the very beginning. So indeed, that actually refers to the date in which it will no longer be as fresh as it supposedly could be. Refer to just means it has reference to that. I could say the other day I heard someone talking on the phone and they said, I hate that guy. I want to kill him. And after that person ended the phone call, I asked, hey, you were pretty angry there. Who were you referring to? Who were you talking about? Who's the person you hate? And who do you want to kill? So in this particular case, that date refers to when a product will no longer have its original quality, but probably could still eat it. It just won't taste as good. So if a bag of potato chips has best before, best by, or used by printed on a date, or printed before a date rather, it means the chips will have the best flavor if eaten before that date. So you'll often see that on a label, best by, best before, or used by. And this is an example of potato chips, also called potato crisps.
Yeah, I think Pringles are potato crisps, whereas other brands, they sell potato chips. And by the way, I don't think the potato chips, if you keep them in a sealed bag, I don't think they ever really go bad. It might take a really long time for them to go bad. After all, they're fried in oil and then covered in salt, and then they add all sorts of preservatives to them. So it's really hard for a potato chip, like a Dorito. Okay, a Dorito in a bag of Doritos. It's difficult for those chips to go bad while still in their sealed packaging. That being said, yeah, after a while, the quality of the chip is going to go down. It might not be as crisp and as crunchy as before. It might not taste so good. So yes, these labels here, okay, best before, best by, and used by, okay, these little things aren't telling you when this thing is going to go bad or expire. It is going to tell you when that food level, as far as the quality is concerned, is going to start to dip or get lower and lower. So that's what those mean. You can still eat the chips, apparently. Now, you may also encounter sell-by dates on food labels. By the way, if you encounter something, you run into that thing. Somehow, this thing finds its way into your life. Yes, if you encounter a person, let's say, you run into them on the street, and you might not have planned for that to happen. Otherwise, if you encounter a sell-by date, yeah, you go ahead and you're shopping, and let's say you go down an aisle and you happen to see this. That's what happens when you encounter that thing.
You may see that, you may find it, you may witness that, you may encounter these dates that say sell-by on those food labels. What does that mean? It's very similar in meaning. This is simply the last date the stores should display the product for sale. It's the last date that those stores should leave them on the shelves. So if it's past that date, and their stocking clerks are aware of this, they should remove those products from the shelves because that's the last date. The store cannot display the product for sale. They'll probably either throw it away or maybe give it to some charity or something like that.
Yeah, after that date, by the way, the product can still be enjoyed, i.e. it hasn't gone bad. It's It's not going to kill you if you eat it. It's just the company that processes, or I should say the company that manufactures these things. Okay, not everything that's manufactured is processed after all. But yes, the company who makes these things tells the stores, yes, don't sell these things after a certain date because the food quality is going to go down. So remove them from the shelves. Stop selling them. Does it mean the food has gone bad? No. Remember, like in the case of Doritos, it's going to be very difficult for a sealed bag of Doritos to go bad. So yes, you can still enjoy them, although those Doritos probably won't be as good as when they were fresh or when they were of original quality. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up day 1 of our article on understanding food date labels.
Food date labeling isn't always regulated by federal governments and is therefore left to the food maker's discretion. And since the more food you throw away, the more you'll buy, those companies actually gain from confusion about food date labeling.
第3部分我们看到一个动词 regulate 指控制、管理、调节。例如 This device regulates the temperature in the room. 这个装置调节房间内的温度。另外补充这个字的名词 regulation R-E-G-U-L-A-T-I-O-N regulation 指规定、法令。我们可以说 Most people agree that the food industry needs more regulation. 大部分的人同意食品业需要更多的规范。接下来我们看到一个单字 federal 这个字是形容词，指联邦的、联邦制的。举例来说 Bruce was followed by federal agents as he was suspected to be a drug dealer. Bruce 被一名联邦探员跟踪，因为他被怀疑是毒贩。最后我们看到名词 discretion 用来指自行决定权，像是 You got the discretion to decide where to visit during our trip to Singapore. 你有我们去新加坡时要前往哪个景点的决定权。这个字除了上面的意思，还可以指谨慎、考虑周到。可以说 Richard uses care and discretion when dealing with upset employees. 面对不悦的员工时 Richard 会以关怀与谨慎对待。另外补充一个相关片语 Leave something to somebody's discretion 表示留给某人来决定点点点。我们可以说I'll leave how much we should order to the purchasing manager's discretion. 我把我们需要订多少货留给采购经理来决定。
Okay, let's continue to talk about food date labels. And you might be wondering, well, who puts those labels on the products themselves? Is it the government? Is it the food company itself? Does the government require this? Well, here in the 3rd paragraph, we're going to attempt to answer that question. Food date labeling isn't always regulated by federal governments and is therefore left to the food maker's discretion. So it depends on where you are, in what country. If we're talking about a federal government, that's the national government as opposed to a local government like in a state or province or even in a county or someplace like that. So food labeling isn't always controlled or regulated by the central, national, federal government.
Yeah, in the United States, okay, the President of the United States is the head of the government of the United States, the federal government. But there are 50 smaller governments that govern each of the 50 states in the United States. Okay, so each of those governments is powerful, but the federal government is the most powerful of them all. It's that level of government above those state governments. That's what a federal government would be in this particular situation. Now, it says that therefore food labeling is often left to the food maker's discretion. Now, what does this mean? It means that food makers are very often free to decide how they label their food. Okay, these food date labeling, the government doesn't tell people what to do. The food makers are free to make their own decisions. That's what discretion is all about. And there's more. And since the more food you throw away, the more you'll buy, those companies actually gain from confusion about food date labeling. And Roger, I don't like this at all. It sounds like these companies, these food companies, are profiting off of food waste. They know that you'll waste food, let's say, if you misread a label. So yeah, you go ahead and you misread the label, or you don't know what the label means, and you become confused and you throw away more food. That's food waste. That's bad, but companies do profit from this because when you throw food away, you buy more food. This is not nice. This is not good. These companies are very naughty, I think.
Yeah, that's why it's smart for us to be a smart shopper. So yes, indeed, if we're confused, we don't know what's going on. Confusion, of course, is the noun. So these companies will gain from that confusion about the food date labeling. So we've got to be careful. We've got to be smart shoppers. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文最后提到 And since the more food you throw away, the more you'll buy. Those companies actually gain from confusion about food date labeling. 而且由于你丢掉越多食物，就会买更多。那些公司事实上就从消费者对食物日期标签感到混淆当中得到好处。好，这个句子里面有用到双重比较级的用法。我们在先前的课程有介绍到它的句型是 the 比较级主词加动词逗号 the 比较级主词加动词，其中的比较级可以是形容词比较级或是副词比较级。不过同学们也许有注意到课文前半句它是用 the more food，这不是形容词或副词的比较级耶。好，其实在双重比较级的句型当中，我们也可以使用修饰名词的形容词比较级，像是用 more 或是 less 来修饰不可数名词，用 more 或是 fewer 来修饰可数名词。举例来说 The more books you read, the more knowledge you gain. 你书读得越多，获得的知识也就越多。好，另外课文有一个单字叫 confusion， 这表示混淆困惑。那我们来学它的字首字根。 confusion 它的动词是 confuse。 那我们先来看 F-U-S-E， 这个字当名词它可以指保险丝啊、导火线或是引信等等。好，那这个字它当字根的时候就会有 pour 或是 melt 的意思，也就是倾泻、倾倒或是熔铸。好，那么在 confuse 这个字当中，它的字首 con 表示一起，字根 fuse 表示倾泻、倾倒。同学们可以试着想象，所有不管什么东西全部把它倒在一起，全部混在一起，这样也许就可以联想到 confuse 有使什么混淆、难以理解的语义了。好，这边顺便补充两个有相同字根的单字。第一个是 infuse， I-N-F-U-S-E。 好，它的字首 I-N 表示往内， fuse 表示倾倒。那么往内倾倒，往里面灌东西、倒东西，应该就可以联想到 infuse 它有注入、灌输的语义。我们可以用 infuse somebody or something with something 来表达使某人或某事物充满了什么，将某事物注入什么什么当中。好，第二个单字 diffuse， D-I-F-F-U-S-E， 它的字首 D-I-F 本来是 D-I-S， 那摆在 F 开头的字根之前，它就变成了 DIF。 好，其实这个 DIS 这个字首呢，有 apart 分开，或是 in every direction 每个方向的那种语义。那么字根 fuse 表示倾倒，当我们把东西倒出来，让它流到每个方向，到处都是，应该就可以联想到 diffuse 它有传播、散布或是四散的语义了。好，以上是今天的重点整理，我们来回顾单字吧。
Tub. Between the two of us, we ate the whole tub of ice cream in one sitting. Yogurt. Eating yogurt that contains live bacteria can be good for your digestion. Original. Most of the castle was destroyed in the 1800s, so very little of the original building is left. Encounter. We fortunately encountered only minor traffic during our drive to the airport. Regulate. The Ministry of Labor regulates health and safety standards in the workplace. Federal. In the United States, citizens must pay both federal and state taxes. Confusion. We apologize for any confusion the accidental alert message may have caused.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.